What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven coming at you with another one. And on this one, we're going to be talking about Sam Bankman-Fried, a name that I can't really say that fast because I always mess it up every time I try to say it. But we've heard a lot about this guy, maybe not recently, but we heard a lot about him before because he was getting pretty chummy with the government. Um, Especially the Democrat government. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. But before we do that, please go ahead and like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good social media stuff. If you would do me that favor, please, thank you, and let's get into the video. It says FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried to be sentenced for fraud. The founder of fallen cryptocurrency exchange FTX faces decades in prison for playing fast and loose with deposits and defrauding the U.S. government. Yeah. The long running legal saga of Sam Bankman Fried will come to an end on March 28th when Judge Lewis Kaplan announces the sentence of the FTX founder during a 9:30 a.m. hearing at the U.S. courthouse in Lower Manhattan. In November 2023, jurors decided to convict Mr. Bankman-Fried on all 7 counts of conspiracy and fraud with which the government lawyers charged him. Ew. I'm surprised he got charged at all, to be honest with you, with the level of corruption that surrounded him. Mr. Bankman-Fried and his attorneys have repeatedly argued that he didn't intentionally do anything wrong and that he deserves no more than 6.5 years in jail. In his trial testimony in October 2023, Mr. Bankman-Fried insisted he used sophisticated analytics to try to keep track of the state of FTX's finances and suggested that subordinates acting without his knowledge or imprimatur made costly mistakes. That's why the captain goes down with the ship, right? But prosecutors citing testimony from Alameda research head Caroline Ellison, who was at times romantically involved with Mr. Bankman-Fried, vehemently disagreed, with the more charitable view and are pressing for a sentence a sentence of half a century or longer. Ooh, wow, that's that's pretty bad. The government's tough stance has found support, from the current CEO of FTX, John Ray III, the former chair of the Recovery Corporation in another high-profile insolvency, that of Enron, which imploded in December of 2001. In a letter to Judge Kaplan, Mr. Ray denounced the categorically, callously, and demonstrably false claims that Mr. Bankman-Fried and his lawyers have put forth in the hope of getting a lighter sentence. It's crazy, man. It's crazy that people can do what this guy was accused of, be found guilty, and people are still like, oh yeah, give him 6.5 years in jail. It's crazy. Occupying a middle ground between the defense position and the prosecutors, Jeffrey Hook, a senior lecturer at Johns Hopkins Carey School of Business in Maryland, and former investment banker, said that Mr. Bankman-Fried's transgressions are serious but nowhere near on par with those of convicted fraudster Bernie Madoff, for instance, who received a 150-year sentence for his $65 billion Ponzi scheme and died in prison in 2021. Huh. Well, did he commit fraud? Did he knowingly commit fraud? Because now he's saying he didn't commit fraud, or knowingly. Mr. Bankman-Fried deserves a lighter sentence than either Mr. Madoff or the senior Enron executives responsible for the calamity of December 2001, Mr. Hook said. Now, stuck with a guilty verdict, an appropriate sentence seems to me to be at least 10 years. The Enron guys essentially got 12 years after appealing longer sentences, and I might argue that they were truly aware of their crimes, whereas Bankman-Fried might have been somewhat less aware or deliberate, Mr. Hook told the Epic Times. I don't know, man. Like, I honestly don't know enough about this to speak at length about this. All I know is that I just don't understand how he could not have known. But again, in all fairness, I didn't follow the trial like I do some of these other cases. The verdict in November 2023 came exactly 1 year after a November November 2nd, 2022 report in the cryptocurrency publication CoinDesk began to stoke wide concern about the state of FTX's finances. The report cited a leaked balance sheet of FTX's hedge fund trading affiliate Alameda Research. According to CoinDesk analysis, a bulk of Alameda's $14.6 billion worth of assets was in the form of FTX's own crypto token, FTT, rather than a fiat currency. This is not only suggested that suggested that Alameda's wealth was potentially less fungible than many had assumed, but also pointed to extensive commingling of FTX customer deposits with the hedge fund affiliate. Whether or not CoinDesk was correct to impute instability and weakness to FTX on the basis of its position in FTT, the reaction in the market was swift. On November 6, 2022, Changpeng Zhao, then CEO of Binance, one of the other leading cryptocurrency exchanges, sent out a sharply worded post on Twitter. Mr. Zhao alluded to the fact that Binance had been distancing itself from FTX over the past year and had received the equivalent of about $2.1 billion in US dollars in the form of both cash and the FTT token. Due to recent revelations that have come to light, we have decided to liquidate any remaining FTT on our books. We will try to do so in a way that minimizes market impact, Mr. Zhao wrote. Yeah, man, but you don't want to lose that money either, right? Because I wouldn't. Despite that assurance, Binance's move and forthright public announcement immediately helped fuel a run on the bank, during which customers pulled $6 billion from FTX in 3 days. Ouch. The exchange would never recover. Some $9 billion of customer funds are still lost through the commingling of funds and Bankman-Fried's lavish spending. The feds move in. U.S. federal prosecutors were quick to take action. On December 13th, 2022, the Department of Justice announced that a federal grand jury had returned an indictment charging Mr. Bankman-Fried with wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, securities fraud, money laundering, campaign finance violations, and fraud against the Federal Election Commission. Good Lord, my young man. The last allegation relates to Mr. Bankman-Fried drawing upon customer deposits to make large donations to both Democrats and Republicans with whom he wanted to curry favor. Oh, so the guy was just an equal opportunist. But it was mainly Democrats who benefited from Mr. Bankman-Fried's largesse, including a reported $5.2 million donation to then candidate Joe Biden in 2020. Don't worry, you'll get pardoned. Probably not. According to the Wall Street Journal, this gift made Mr. Bankman-Fried second only to Michael Bloomberg among top spending backers of President Biden. Good Lord. You guys get the point. I'm going to go ahead and leave this link down below. You guys, do your thing. Comment. Let me know if you guys have any background that I don't have on this. Because this is, we'll see. I'll definitely comment on his sentencing when we get there. But for now, you guys, be safe, be good to one another, and stay based.